Star Wars The Clone Wars is one of my personal favorite shows, and I wanted to make some mocks for the show, but couldn't decide which episodes to make the mocks on, so I decided I'm going to start a series where I build every single episode of The Clone Wars in LEGO, which will total, over the whole 7-season show, 133 mocks. It will be a very long series. I'm going to hopefully do every other week uploads, and without further ado, let's get into episode 1 of building every episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars in LEGO. Season 1, Episode 1 of The Clone Wars, named Ambush, is a pretty good start to the series. I would even say it's one of the better episodes in Season 1, and it takes place on a coral moon called Rugosa, or something around there. Don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but it's a pretty interesting moon. The coral-like plants are pretty impossible to make out of LEGO, and I will explain that further in the video. But I went with the escape pod crash scene. This scene was actually my number 2 pick, but just due to the limitations of plant life and dark tan as a terrain piece, like as a sloped terrain piece, and making some of the other scenes look natural just wasn't possible. So I was a little limited and forced to make this scene, but I still think it turned out really well. And so anyways, let's get into the time-lapse. Plant life on the moon that Yoda and the clones crash on is quite interesting. It has a pretty unique color, and LEGO does actually have a color that matches it very well, which is medium lavender, but the part selection in that color is pretty small, so I couldn't do the big coral plants or these big round ball plants. But I was able to achieve a pretty cool design for the spiky plants. And that design starts off with a 6-pronged grass stem, and then I put a stack of around 5 to 8 on the ends of each one, varying in sizes. And then in between, you put another stack about the same size, a little bigger or a little smaller, and you kind of just wedge it in between the 3, right, like this, and getting that to stay in can be a little difficult, and it can take some trial and error, but eventually it will all stay together, and you will have this nice little holding place for the top one, which doesn't get secured perfectly, but usually it does hold pretty well. And then you just put a few very small little stacks, like 1 or 2, plus the cone on the bottom layer, just sitting underneath the plant. In the end, I think this resembles the plant quite well. For the tier ranking of Season 1, Episode 1, I'm pretty sure it's going to end up in bottom of A tier, but for now I'm going to put it in B tier. It's a overall solid episode, one of my favorites of Season 1, as I said before, but I don't think it deserved S tier, and there are quite a few episodes that I think are a lot better than this one, so I'm going to stick with B tier for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is going to wrap up episode 1 of building every episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars in LEGO. Please consider liking and subscribing with notifications on so you don't miss the other 132 episodes of this series. And stay tuned for next episode where I will be using that mock right there. And so, anyways, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.